1. Okay. Yes. So now we're finally live here at Eight Letters Bookstore and Publishing. We have another book launch today, and this time it's going to be Going Japanese by James Evangelista. Um, Hi, James. Can you hear me properly? Naril- ayan, hindi. Sandali. Um, Again, parang, yeah, there's some technical issues. So, sige. Can you try to speak? Okay. Okay, while we're fixing our earphones and stuff, I just want to introduce you to James, who's the author of Going Japanese. So, James Evangelista is a writer from Manila, Philippines, committed to sharing his message that life should be lived in a truthful and purposeful manner. So, James started his blog, Millennial Thoughts, that serves as a vessel of truth and inspiration to other people. He is the author of Roots, Success, and Greatness Starts Within You. Okay, so James, can you hear me now? I just gave an introduction. Okay,
Yes,
so
hello.
everything's fine?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ayan. Yes, awesome. Okay. So for those of you guys who are watching today, thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Before we proceed with the book launch um for Going Japanese, I just want to thank you all guys who already pre-ordered Going Japanese. So actually we are in our second printing right now, and yes, there you have it. So we have a comment from Amy, been working for a Japanese school for 23 years now. This is interesting. Yeah, so what we're going to talk today is an interesting book. Kasi wala kami masyadong would you define this as a travel book, James?
I would define it as a travel and self-help book. So,
Mhm.
dual purpose.
Okay. So, sige, pakita muna natin ang ating book cover for Going Japanese. Hold on. Okay. So there you have it. So here's our book cover for Going Japanese. So it's now available at Eight Letters Bookstore and Publishing. Um, so James, how did you come up with Going Japanese? And why Japan of all places?
I came up with it because I traveled in Japan in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw something very different in that place. It's
Mm-hmm.
very, let's say, spiritual. People there
Oh.
are, they value their culture.
Mm-hmm.
They have discipline, and it's a great country as a tourist. It
As
gives
a
you a
tourist.
different perspective in life
Mm-hmm.
itself.
Oh.
Although they're not the perfect country, we all know they have problems like the overworking
Mm-hmm.
problems and all.
Mm-hmm.
We can learn something about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So when you traveled to Japan, which are the places that you've been to and that inspired you to write this book?
I visited different tourist spots like the Fushiminari Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've been to the Shibuya, the
Mm-hmm.
famous pedestrian
Uh-huh.
crossing.
Yes.
We've been in Tokyo, then got a glimpse of Mount Fuji.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Then a trip in Japan won't be complete without eating ramen and or and the original katsudon.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I visited Japan then, last 2020 when before the pandemic. And it was one of the like the last place bago nag-start yung pandemic. Yeah. So you've been to Shibuya to yeah, the famous crossing, and then there's Mount Fuji, and then you tasted the ramen. So what is like what was your writing process? By the way, Amy, who commented earlier, she's also a travel writer. Pero she focused on travel writing. Pero sa'yo, sabi mo, it's also a self-help book in a way. Um, okay, I totally agree na there's something to learn from our neighbors from Japan. But then, can you tell me about your writing process? Paano ka nag-start? Paano mo naisip na, oh, I have to write this book about Japan?
Well, I actually had an idea when I got back that I have to write something about them in I had the
Mm-hmm,
idea in 2019, but I didn't know where to start.
mm-hmm,
So what I did is I read books about them, I watched
mm-hmm,
TV shows, just
mm-hmm,
absorb
mm-hmm,
anything that I can about them.
mm-hmm,
Then I actually encountered the writer's block in before the pandemic.
mm-hmm,
Just like I said, I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know how to write about them.
mm-hmm.
When my dad got COVID, I
Oh.
parang ano siya. So waking up point in my life na I gotta do this. I need to do this
Mm-hmm,
now.
mm-hmm,
So what I did is I did it chapter by chapter. In some chapters, I wrote about the samurai, wisdoms of the samurai,
mm-hmm,
then their philosophy, the ikigai, the Kaizen
mm-hmm.
philosophy,
Oh.
and the wabi-sabi philosophy. One of my favorite chapters that I wrote in this book is about the green tea, the matcha. I wrote
Mm-hmm.
about them, the life
At,
of Senrikyu itself.
ito ba yung lessons from a tea ceremony or that's another chapter?
Come again?
Ito ba yung chapter about lessons from a tea ceremony? Yung matcha? Is that the chapter you're referring to? Or iba pa yung matcha? Oh, okay. Can you hear me well? Or hindi nawala yung audio? Oh, okay. So no worries. Okay, so you just mentioned na one of your favorite chapters was the matcha. Or when you were writing about matcha, the famous Japanese green tea.
Yes,
Tama ba? Yes.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Um, so what is it about matcha? Matcha green tea. Well, nowadays you can avail it anywhere in the Philippines where there's a milk tea shop, diba? So what is it about matcha? What is so interesting about it?
Matcha is very interesting because
Mm-hmm.
it's a healthy drink. It's powdered green tea.
Mm-hmm.
It was used by the tea masters before as a form of luxury. They give it as a gift. They use
Mm-hmm.
it as a form of competition,
Mm-hmm.
ceremony, and ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great source of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite source of caffeine since I'm not a coffee drinker.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just showing right here yung chapters referring to the matcha green tea lessons from a tea ceremony. So I was clarifying with James earlier kung ito ba yung chapter na yun and I just checked and it actually is. So you also mentioned about writing about Kaizen, writing about like other Japanese philosophies. So, can you educate us a little bit more? For example, what is Kaizen?
Kaizen is a Japanese philosophy which means continuous
Mm-mm.
improvement. So the
Mm-hmm.
step-by-step improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of aiming for something big right away, you
Mm-hmm.
need to do it in a little process.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
it's
step by
used,
step.
yeah, step by step. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a great mindset if you want to reach your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the NBA team Boston Celtics, they have a poster of it on their walls sa
Mm-hmm.
training camp facility nila as a
Mm-hmm.
reminder to their players that greatness comes every greatness comes with continuous improvement. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen overnight.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. I love that. From someone who just came back from a quick break. Parang yeah, that's a good philosophy to have in your life. Like there should be a continuous progress, there should be a continuous improvement somewhere. So just take one step at a time. So do you practice all these philosophies that you've mentioned in the book? Do you practice it in your life?
Yes, I actually practice them,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Kaizen.
Mm-hmm.
In writing that book, I had to do it step by step. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
rush. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
rush it.
Mm-hmm.
For
Okay.
example, the a chapter in that book,
Mm-hmm.
I set a goal which is I need to write 500 or 500 to 1,000 words per day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need, even though the draft is not that good, but I
Mm-hmm.
accomplished it.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. So like just look at this book, this manuscript. What's interesting about it also are the photos that are accompanied sa bawat chapter. So in this chapter, actually, this is where you mentioned yung Kaizen. So this chapter is called Changing for the Better. And then I just found this Kaizen. So most of us don't want to change because of the fear of the unknown. We're afraid to change because we're worried about what will happen to us. These very lines. Um, it's so relatable, and it's something that you need, especially in this very uncertain times, diba? So you've mentioned that your dad had COVID. I hope he's better now.
Yes, this actually is
Yes.
better now. We just got vaccinated, full dosage of vaccination last month.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Okay, so yeah, sometimes when we reach those writer's block, 'di ba? Sometimes or hindi lang writer's block, sometimes yung mga struggles natin in life, ang hirap talaga na umusad, especially when parang ang dami-dami ng ano, ang daming problema, dami mong kinakaharap na problema. Okay, so this is a good self-help book for those of you guys who are encountering or having some struggles right now. So my next question for you, James, is sige, doon muna tayo sa medyo hindi masyadong serious stuff about your book. Sabi ko kanina, you've also written another book. Can you tell us more about it?
My first book, Roots, is it's another self-help book.
Mm-hmm.
It's I wrote that as a starter. So other
Mm-hmm.
self-help books kasi focus
Mm-hmm.
on one topic lang siya. Focus on
Mm-hmm.
one topic and then andun parang doon na siya paano
Mm-hmm.
ba? So yung roots, multiple topics siya.
Mm-hmm.
So kumbaga it gives a reader an idea na
Mm-hmm.
so let's say there's a topic there about stoicism.
Mm-hmm.
It gives a reader na kung book recommendation sa kanya.
Mm-hmm.
So this is ano siya, it's a short chapter books lang siya.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the first book, okay, the title was Roots,
Roots.
Success and Greatness Starts Within You. And mas manipis ba to kesa sa Going Japanese?
Hindi po.
Okay. So
It's thicker but it has more chapters, more short chapters.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. So, okay, I'm just looking at your blog right here called millennialthoughts.net. So, check it out, guys. Okay, if you haven't checked it yet. So, James is the author of millennialthoughts.net. So I can see here na you actually love writing kasi you've written etong Roots, you're writing blogs, and then this time you've written this Going Japanese, 'di ba? When did you start writing? Let's look at your writing journey naman.
I actually started writing nung bata pa ako. I was
Mhm.
making a comic comic skits, mga short comic skits na
Mm.
sa art paper and bond paper lang.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then it had to stop as I got older. Then I
Mhm.
went back into writing in 2017, late
Mhm.
2017. Then from that point na I decided to make it as a hobby na.
Mhm.
From 2018 to on 2018 onwards, I always try
Mhm.
to post there once a week, once or
Oh,
every twice a week.
okay. Okay. Once or every twice a week. Okay. So, um, what do you feel satisfied putting your work out there? So by the way, I'm showing naman the Millennial Thoughts blog.
Come again.
Okay. I'm just saying na I'm sharing the screen here of your blog, Millennial Thoughts. Kasi sabi dito, like life is meant to be lived, cherish the exciting moments, and relish in those all too brief moments of relaxation. Like, wow, this is so I don't know, like a sort of an epiphany, a sort of zen. Ano ba? Are you going to that direction? Towards that direction na parang okay, this is my branding. Na I have to be a relaxed writer. I have to be philosophical writer. Ano ba?
As much as possible, I really want it to keep it simple and straight to the point. Hindi
Mhm.
kasi ako mahilig dun sa mapaikot-ikot or kino-confuse yung mga reader. And ako itself, gusto ko
Mhm.
kasi yung straight to the point siya and
Mhm.
simple.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I can feel that, while I'm talking to you right now, na parang, bawat answer mo is so straightforward. Walang paligoy-ligoy. Okay, ramdam nyo yun, guys. um, okay, so aside from writing, what do you do when you're not writing naman? What's the other sides? What are the other sides of James?
When I'm not writing, I play video games.
Mm-hmm.
I I love cooking. I love food.
Mm-hmm.
I ac-
Okay.
I actually my girlfriend and I actually have a Instagram food page.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can promote it here.
Instagram and a YouTube
Mm-hmm.
page. Sa YouTube page, more on home cooking and live cooking na lang yun dun eh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay. You're very active, ha? Is she watching right now? So, girlfriend, comment ka naman dyan. um, okay. So, okay, so you also love cooking. Okay. Do you know how to cook your ramen?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we cooking process of ramen takes a long time, lalo na po yung mga authentic ramen. They
Mm-mm.
boil the meat overnight eh. Paggawa pa lang ng
Mm-mm.
broth, it takes overnight 4 to 5
Mm-hmm.
hours.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long process.
Yes, I agree with you. Okay, so I can see that you're a very patient person since wow, you love cooking, you love writing. All of these hobbies, by the way, require some kind of ano ba, patience, 'di ba? So,
Yes.
okay. Yes. Okay, how about you read us some of the excerpts, your favorite excerpts from the book? So, para like to give a glimpse,
Okay.
what is it about?
I'm going to read one in the chapter of lessons from my tea ceremony.
Okay. Sige. Let's go with that.
It says here, Atika presents the humility of the individual. According to tea masters, drinking tea is a form of meditation and a simple activity that puts you in the present moment. So
Mm-hmm.
this one things
Mm-hmm.
I learned in about the tea ceremony and creating the when you create a matcha,
Mm-hmm.
may required ano po kasi sila eh. May mga required tools,
Mm-hmm.
then kung required process.
Mm-hmm.
So to accomplish a great matcha po, kailangan maging mindful ka. Parang
Mm-hmm.
meditative moment na
Mm-hmm.
lang din siya.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what if wala kang mga ganong tools? Like, can you find, possible ba na gumamit ng mga alternative tools?
Yes.
Or, okay, okay.
Possible naman. Ang difference po kasi is the original matcha.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the ceremonial grade.
Mm-hmm.
Ano po siya, mahirap po kasi siyang tunawin with the
Mm-hmm.
spoon itself. The
Mm-mm.
traditional Pinoy style
Ah,
stir.
ah, ah, ah. Right. Oo.
So, you need
Mm-hmm.
the wooden whisk and the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then, it's a form of habit na lang din na when I drink matcha every morning,
Mm-hmm.
I rarely use my devices or cell phones, gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Talagang in the present lang din talaga siya. Yun lang talaga yung ginagawa ko.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Very rare lang.
so in the present ka ba, when you're not, even when you're not making your green tea, in the present pa rin?
Yes, pero there are times
Mm-hmm.
na my mind wanders.
Oo. Okay, yeah, it happens all the time. Okay, I'm just
Happens.
wondering. Okay. So by the way, even if you're not interested, my favorite green tea latte, green tea is from yun nga, Starbucks green tea latte. But I used to drink that. But I'm sure, I'm not sure if it's how different is it from the Japanese green tea. Anyway,
It's
uh-oh.
it's very different kasi
Mm-mm.
small amounts lang yung ginagamit nila. You can try the
Mm-mm.
Ujiri store.
Mm-hmm.
They have authentic matcha there. It's very different compared to the Starbucks and
Oh,
coffee. Yes.
okay, okay. Thank you for your recommendation. Okay. Okay, so that's lessons you can learn from a tea ceremony. Okay, so how about give us another excerpt?
Here's another one from
Mm-hmm.
another chapter called Lessons from the Samurai.
Okay.
2 years before his death, Musashi wrote his autobiography, Gorin no Sho, or the Book of the Five Rings. He detailed how he won all his duels, how he destroyed the confidence of his enemies, and used it to his advantage. He said that there were many kinds of agitation, a feeling of danger, a feeling that something is beyond one's capacity, and the feeling of the unexpected. Musashi's book talks about the basic principles in embodying the way of the warrior. Be inwardly calm and clear even in the midst of chaos. And do not forget the possibility of disorder in times of order. His book carries timeless wisdom. He's famous for this advice. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I understand that you did some research when you're writing this. Naman, 'di ba? Kasi wow, okay, it's very I cannot find any words for it, pero I'm sure guys if you read this book, you can learn so much, from each chapter that you're going to read from. Okay, so like my only idea from summarize are those that we can watch from animes and kasi nga actually yun nga rin minsan yung ano like what would inspire me to go to Japan, yung mga media na that's always showing on television na parang okay, this is Japan. They're so different, their culture is so different, like it's a must go, it's a place that everyone must see, etc., etc. um okay, maybe last but not the least, maybe another excerpt from this Going Japanese.
Okay.
Okay.
Another excerpt from the same chapter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He reminds us that everything starts within ourselves. Change starts within us, not outside of us.
Not
Just
outside of
before
us.
he died, Musashi wrote Dokudo for his favorite disciple and successor, Terao Magunojo. Dokudo it represents the 21 rules of way of living.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give 5
Sige.
rules.
Sige.
So, first one is accept everything just the way it is. Second, do not seek pleasure for its own sake.
Mm-hmm.
Third, do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, do not regret what you have done. And fifth, never let yourself be saddened by a separation.
Oh, okay. So eto ba yung ano, the way of walk, no, this uh no, I'm
The way of
looking at,
walking alone.
okay, the way of walking alone. Okay, so I think I'm looking at okay, the way of walking alone. So ang pinaka gusto ko doon sa five rules na minention mo is do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. So kailangan buo yung loob mo every time you do something. Ito ba 'yon?
Opo. You need to, kailangan buo ang loob. Kasi,
Kailangan 100%.
yes. Kasi they have a saying na hesitation is defeat.
Mhm.
Sometimes, even in our ordinary life choices, when we
Mhm.
hesitate, sometimes things hindi maganda ang nangyayari.
Mm. Hmm. Parang 'pag nagsho-shopping ka ng libro online, kailangan mo ng 100% sure ka. Okay. Oo. Yeah, I also encounter a lot of a lot of experiences in my life na, I always feel na half ano lang, half baked lang yung feeling ko. So, but I still push for it anyway, and sometimes yun nga, something would happen, like some consequences, and then I would go for etong rule number one, which is accept everything just the way it is. Oo, yeah. So, kung nandun ka na, 100%,
Yes.
kahit hindi
Kasi
100%, yeah. Go
there's some
ahead.
uh, there are things in life na we cannot control talaga.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
So, just need to learn to accept it. Kung may kaya mang baguhin or palitan, we can do it. Pero just like medyo dark man pero in terms of
Mm,
death, we can't stop it eh.
mhm, mhm. We can stop it. We cannot stop it. So,
We just have
um,
to I sorry.
yeah, yeah, go ahead. We just have to.
We just have to live our life, be present, enjoy each moment kasi this life is only one.
Mhm, mm. Tama. Yes. Okay. So, teka, meron pa ba akong mga hindi natanong? Guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to comment, and then we'll ask while James is here with us. Yeah, um, I think that's pretty much it. So, maybe, do you have any messages, why people should buy this book. Yeah, maybe baka may gusto kong pasalamatan or something.
I just want to thank you guys, the eight letters, for
Mm-mm.
this opportunity, and Miss Jean of Publishing Professional.
Ah,
Mm.
I miss Jean.
Thank
Okay.
wait, you can for those of you visiting my website, be part of my email list
Mhm.
so that you can get the latest blog posts that I post there.
Mm. How often do you post?
I post 4 times a month. My goal is 4 times a month. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
like once a week. So
Mm-hmm.
once a week.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I think okay, what I like about your blog is parang it's all about mindful living. So, what you can find on James' blog are these posts like why you should have a morning routine, modern problems requires old solutions. Wow. Okay, I should read that. Thoughts on living a truthful life, and thoughts on productivity and rest, and thoughts on self-reflection. See? So I think there's something to learn from James. So medyo straightforward ka lang ngayon mag ano, like when you answer questions like so wow, it's so straightforward. We don't get that much often dito sa eight letters, no? Whenever people goes live, like I'm surprised with your straightforwardness. Parang you know what you want to say, you know what you want to do, or what you want to show us, and I think that's very refreshing nowadays. Na parang ang daming noises, anywhere from anywhere. So thank you so much, James. Guys, please do follow millennialthoughts.net and also get a copy of James' book. So it's only 420 pesos. And you can learn so much from this book. I'm sure of that. Going Japanese, embracing Japanese wisdom for a better life. Yeah. So if you're having troubles, get this book. For sure, it's going to be very refreshing. With all the wisdom that you can learn. So James, so saan ka ba namin mahahanap? May Instagram ka ba? You mentioned you mentioned a YouTube channel,
Yes.
food channel.
My Instagram page is James Evangelista
Uh-huh.
with wait, let me check.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, James Evangelista with a double S. Because the
Oh.
James, yeah, it was taken.
Uh-huh.
Then
So mhm.
the other page is Gemini Bites, the food Instagram page and the YouTube channel. It's Gemini Bites.
Gemini Bites. Okay, let me see. Instagram.com/Gemini Bites. Tama ba?
Wait.
Oh,
What is
okay. So
the wait, it's the
there
one
you
with
go.
the double S.
Ah, double S.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So malito. So hindi ito. Gemini Bites. Okay, there you have it. Yan, food blog, food is life. This is your food blog with your girlfriend, or is that the YouTube, o iba pa yon?
That's the one po. Our food
Ah,
blog.
okay. So this is where you go for your dates, huh? Okay. Yeah, check this out. Okay. So, okay, hindi do you have plans in publishing any other books in the future, or ano ba? Baka meron kang ano pa ba yung mga philosophical books ngayon? Going Norwegian.
I actually have another idea. It's about
Mm.
freedom. So if
Mhm.
anyone wants to give me a book recommendation,
What freedom? Because it's a very general term. You mean
mm,
freedom when it comes to speech, or what? Freedom to travel?
the more about the free will or freedom of movement of the people.
Okay. Yeah, that
Uh,
that would be interesting. Yes, for sure. Okay, so before we go, I just want to have a look at your YouTube page para ano like so that people can also no can also follow you guys here. So, yeah, very interesting. Wow. Very professionally edited.
That konjac is no, a product of Japan.
Ah.
It's a type of yam.
Mhm.
Very low in ano siya,
Okay.
low in calorie and high in fiber. Very healthy.
Okay. Nice.
Mm.
Okay. Interesting. Wow, so ano ba? You also love shopping for Japanese food, tama ba?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, James. Wow, ang dami kong gustong tanungin about Japan. But we're running out of time. Sige. Guys, I'm sure we've covered a lot of stuff today, and meron namang replay button, so you can always go back and see what we talk about. So, what we discussed was, of course, going Japanese, the philosophies of our neighbors from Japan, and James covered that in his book. I'm sure you will learn a lot of things from this book, so get it for only 420 pesos. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much, James.
Thank you.
Oo
Thank you
nga
and
pala,
stay
may
safe.
ayun, stay safe. Oh, by the way, meron ding ano, may mga comments pala dito. So Mika said, do you have plans on your next book? Yeah, so we
Yes,
just
I
answered that.
have.
Yes, yung freedom. Okay, and then there's also Maria Carousel. Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, thank you so much, James. We'll have our second printing for your book, and make sure to get those very limited um stocks that we have right now. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.